it's Chris. I thought I'd do a video and show you how I make my wristlet straps. I'm currently working on a project and I need to make myself a 1/2 inch wide wristlet strap and the connectors. So I thought I'd just show you how I do it. So I've cut, because I'm doing a double fold wristlet strap, I've cut my wristlet strap at 14 inches in length. So I've got 14 inches and then I've cut it 2 inches wide because I'll be folding it to the centres and then folding it in half again. And for this piece I'll be doing the same thing. So this will be for my strap connectors. I'm going to add 2 strap connectors. So I've also got my hardware. So I've got 2 D-rings ready and I've got 2 1/2 inch wide swivel clips that I'll be attaching. And I've also got some rivets. So I'm using rose gold today. Now what I do is I've already marked here. I mark a line down the centre. So I just get a ruler and I just sort of line it up. So I'll grab a ruler. Line it up on this 1 inch mark, and then because this is black I've used a white chalk just to make it easier for myself to see the centre line. Now I'm using double-sided tape today. You don't have to use an expensive double-sided tape, it's sort of basically a temporary hold. So I'm going to, some people will lay the tape down the centre of that line, but I actually prefer to lay it closer towards the edges on each side. It uses a little bit more tape and it doesn't take any extra time at all to do. I'm going to also keep the tape away from the edges, like just leaving a little bit there. Cut that away, that's already away. So you can see there, I've just kept it just a little bit away from those raw edges. Reason being is this vinyl is black on both sides and it's got a really nice finish on it, so I don't need to edge paint or anything there on these straps. So I'll do that side. You can use scissors to cut your tape. Some tapes are a little bit tough and they sort of don't tear very easily. So if that's the case, when they don't tear easily, I'll snip the tape, or if I want a really neat finish, I'll trim the edge of that tape, just like that. I'll do the strap connector piece as well. You can see I went outside the lines. So I make sure I follow the straight line. The tape can go to the edges because this is going to be, I don't want it overlapping, but it can go to the edges because the ends won't be seen, they'll be inside the project. I'm actually making the wristlet strap for a zip around wallet for one of my customers. So tape's done. I've already threaded up my machine. We're actually using brown thread on this black vinyl just for a little bit of a contrast because the material that we're using for the wallet is rose gold and it's got earthy brown colourings and that in it. So I just removed one of the strips of the zipper of the paper off the double-sided tape because I don't want my fingers to be getting stuck on there, which is another reason why I prefer not to put the tape down the middle, because I just find that when I'm folding it over, my fingers tend to get stuck to the tape there. Now I'll fold this up just so that it just meets up to that line without going over that line. Just doing a nice neat fold. I just need to go for a bit further there. I've put a light above the machine here and I've got to duck my head under it there. I was just trying to get the best lighting that I could. Learning, trial and error. So that's that side done. And you can probably see that line and it's right there in that centre there. Now when I fold over this side, I'm going to leave a slight little bit of a gap for when we fold this over, which compensates for what they call turn of cloth. So this is only a fairly thin vinyl, so I don't have to leave a really big gap. So, but I will be leaving like probably about like roughly a millimetre or a 1/16 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch. So you can probably see there's just that slight little bit of a gap running through that centre. They're not butting up and touching each other. The other thing that I like to do is I've just got, this is just a from the hardware store, a little roller, and I just like to flatten that out. You can already see it just makes a smoother finish, gets it nice, sort of puts a bit of a memory crease in the project. So that's that one done, ready to sew. And now I'll do the wristlet strap. Same process, remove the paper, fold up close to, without overlapping that line that I drew. So again, there we want to leave that little gap for the turn of cloth, or turn, in this case, turn of vinyl. If you're using a thicker material, then I'll generally leave a little bit more of a gap. That's that side done. Flip over. And I'll do the other side. Leaving that little bit of a gap there. Try not to stretch your vinyl as you're folding either. You want it just sort of so that it just lays flat. If you've cut your vinyl straight, you'll know if you've laid it straight without stretching when we look at the ends. Put this down, I'm just in auto mode here. So when we look at the ends, this should be nice and even. So you can see on both ends that's even. If you had these fold over bits, one sticking over further than the other side, then you'll know that you've stretched that, and your wristlet strap could end up a little bit distorted. The other thing I like to do as well is, now that that's done, so I'm just going to fold that strap, because I've created that little gap there, it'll fold there nice and neatly. And it just sort of puts that little memory crease in there. You can add some more double-sided tape down the centre. Sometimes it's nice to do that. I'll show you how to do that. And there, I'm just going to lay it down the centre of this strap. You don't need to, it's just another option. Lay it in the middle. Like if you're new to sewing straps and things like that, it's probably a good idea. Just going to trim that a little bit further back from the end of that seam allowance. You only need to do one side. Remove that tape. Fold that over. These folded edges should line up pretty accurately. You've got a little wriggle room there if you need to move it slightly. Okay, so there's our little strap, ready to go. I might as well do this one. Give him his little memory crease. It's good to do this when there's no tape, if you're going to be using the tape, so that you've got a chance to move it without it sticking down, and try and get those folds lined up as best as you can. I'll put a bit of tape on this one as well, just down the centre. So if your machine has doesn't like double-sided tape. If you lay it down the centre there, your chances of hitting the tape with your needle is reduced. If you do get a build up on your needle, just you can just wipe it over with a cloth, or just use your fingers and just scrape it and pull it off. It's no big deal. You can use alcohol wipes and things like that, but I find it's not that bothersome to me. Probably hear the birds in the background. I can give that another little roll, get that set. Beautiful, nice flat strap. Okay, we are good to go. I always, when I'm doing my straps, I like to start with the strap connectors. Then if you did need to change your settings, or there's something's not quite right, you can adjust them. So I've got my stitch length set at a 4.5. Sometimes I'll use a longer stitch length, and sometimes I'll use a smaller stitch length. For the project that I'm working on, I tested out a couple of different lengths, and I quite liked the look of the 4.5 stitch length, so I'm going to stay consistent with that. Now I'm going to sew first the side that's got the folds and stitch them down, and then I'll come around and I'll do another row of stitching on this side. You can use a edge guide foot. If I've got a green stain on my fingers, I was doing my fish tank and I put a little treatment in. Now it's made my finger green. So yeah, back to the straps. So I'm going to do roughly about 1/8 of an inch, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow on my foot here on my machine. I'm going to follow this side, the outside edge of this inner foot on my machine. So I'll see if I can, I'm not sure, I don't want to play around with the phone settings, the camera settings on the phone. So, but yeah, I'm just going to line up the edge of the inside foot. I've got 2 feet on this machine, it's a walking foot. So I'm using my foot as my guide. I have got an edge guide foot, 1/8 of an inch edge guide foot, but I don't think I need it. I'm just holding onto these threads so they don't get sucked down. And I'll do a little back stitch there. Sounds like I might have created a little nest under there. I did see that back thread go through. Yeah, I thought I might have. I did. So I'll just trim that off before if you ever hear your machine make a noise that you think, oh, that doesn't sound right, don't keep sewing, just stop straight away. Usually have a little starter thread here, and I got one. I'll just go and grab one so I can show you another option you can do. Back again, I found a scrap, it was right behind me, so I'll just use this scrap here. So I'm just going to put that in there. Doesn't look like my threads are knotted at all there. Cover this up. I like to put as many layers as what I'm going to be sewing over, and in this case I've got 4 layers, same material, put it over 4 layers, hold that down. So that sounds better already. I've got an automatic thread cutter and that on this machine, but for instances like this I like to just do that. Yeah, stitching looks really good. So see if you can see that. Black's not the best colour, but it just happened to be the material that I was working on today. Okay, we're set to go. Just going to move my light out the road a little bit. It's touching my forehead. Okay, put my needle down this time. and I'll still lock those stitches. It's just a habit of mine, locking stitches. Doesn't hurt to lock your stitches. And I'm just following that edge of my foot, letting the machine just feed the fabric through. Looks good. Could go up another stitch, but it doesn't really matter on this one. Come back down. Oh, happen to be the right line up. Looks good. Can't go faster. I'm just going a bit slower. Habit of mine, I always just tend to wrap around. And there's our little strap. See if you might be able to see the reflection of the stitches there. Nice and neat. Little foot. If you're getting the little indentations, these will settle, but if you're getting marks in your foot, sometimes it's just a matter of releasing some pressure off your foot. Looks like it's my inside. No, it's the outside. I'll just release this a bit. See how that goes. And now we're back on to the strap. So this time I'm actually going to start on that folded edge still again, go all the way around, come across so it's neat here, back around, and then I'll finish there and make that edge neat as well, because these edges will be seen. You can trim them afterwards, but I figure if I can get it right the first time, I'm happy with that. We'll do one locking stitch there. Oh, that didn't sound like that. Oh, I'm good. Getting close to that edge, so I'll slow down a bit. Sometimes even if you just do a hand crank, turn the corner. Just have a look and see what that edge was, why that made a noise. Yeah, see when you hear a noise, it was a thread that had got sucked down. I'll have a look and see if I can pull that out. If it's not right, because this is for a customer, I'll just cut another strip and I'll make it again, make another strap. I should have stopped, taken my own advice and stopped as soon as I heard that noise. If you hear a noise, it's generally for a reason. Pull those threads out of the way there. Just need a half stitch because I'm going to try and line up. This edge will get sealed underneath and you won't see it anyway, this end, the way I do the straps. But I still like to try and make it nice. And I sort of finish in the middle. So my threads are in the middle there. So I'll just trim that back, trim that way. Now let's have a look, because this could happen to you. See if you can see it. A bit of a thread nest there. Thread got hooked somehow on something. I'll get my awl. I'm just looking for the thread that's not meant to be there. Try that one off. Just use your fingernail and flick it, you can see it'll come up. Look at those bits. Something didn't like something there. Just want to get this little bit here. Enough of that. Now I want a cigarette lighter because I will seal these threads. It's a polyester thread, so it's a nice thick strong thread. Seal those down. It looks good on that side. And this will be the side that will be seen. You can probably see if I angle that. It's got a nice finished stitched edge. Try and get the light so you can see it. And that's the opposite side. That was the side that I fixed. Hopefully this is showing up. And that's the better side. Okay. So what we'll do now is we'll do our little D-ring connectors. Just thinking, looking at these, I think that's going to be a bit thick for where I want to put it. Yeah. I think so. I might make another one, but instead of doing a double fold, I'll show you how to do this anyway. I'll do a just a single fold. So what I would normally do is cut that in half, like this. If you've got a side you prefer, my bobbin and top thread look both as good as each other. That's my bobbin side because that's where my thread was. They look good. You can then just baste those together just with a couple of basting stitches, and then that's ready to put into whatever you want into your bag. But yeah, I think looking at that, it's a bit thick for what I want. So what I'll do is I'll go and I'll make new ones, but I'll just do like cut this 1 inch wide and then fold those to the center. So it'll be a 1/4 inch fold and a 1/4 inch fold. So it'll be little tiny ones instead of the double fold. Trial and error. You don't know until you do things sometimes. But yeah, really happy with that little wristlet strap. So now I'm going to get my little swivel clip. Fold this through here. Fold that side down. Is that the side I want? Now I'm going to be looking closely to see which side. That's my nice finished side. So I'm going to go, because this will be the side that'll be seen. You can see it's nicely stitched there. Move that up. Bring this end, and I'm just going to tuck it underneath. So I'll do that again there for you. So this is the neat edge that I want visible. Put my D-ring on. Bring this side up. Sit it underneath there, so it just sort of sits like that. My D-ring is just sitting just on top of that little strap there. I'll fold this over and I'll just push this side of this strap so it just sits up and touches that there. So you can see that'll be how my strap will be finished. And this is that nice edge that's got no locking stitches and that there. It's just a really neat finish. Now what I'm also going to do is, because I'm going to put a rivet in this, so I'm just going to pre-make my holes because that's quite thick. So to pre-mark where my holes are that I want to put in, I'm going to get my little awl, got a nice sharp point on it there, and I'd like my rivet to sit about there. I'm going to go through that layer and the next layer and right through. I can see if that's centered at the back. I've got my hole there. I've got my hole there. That's nicely centered. Let's get that nice hole there. Creating that. Now this little hole is just, oh, you probably can't see it, just off center. So I'm just going to go through with my awl, make sure that it's more in line in the center. Go Go through, give this another little poke. Can use your hole punch. I've got a rivet press that's already set up with a hole punch, but I'll see how these go. Oh, good. Now I'll get a rivet. I've got medium and large rivets because I haven't yet tested if I need the medium or the large. So, because I need the right length of post to be able to go through those holes. So I'll pop that onto that one, feed this one up, push it through that hole. I might need to use my hole punch. Yeah, right, that's gone through nice and snug. That's looking good. Now I can find the other hole, one more hole to go through. I might use my hole punch on that one. Let me just grab I'll use my handheld one because I can see the hole very easily. I was using this for something else, so I'll just get it back to the smallest hole punch. So seeing where that hole is, line up my punch and cut a little hole. Give it a little twist and then you've got a really nice neat hole there. Push that one in. Might want my longer ones, might not. You just want to have enough of that rivet pushing through. Yeah, I think I will go with my bigger one. And push these down like that. Let's see. Yeah, I think I might. I'll go with the large one. We'll have a look anyway. Let's have a test. Because it's sort of really got to sort of push that down tight to get it to come through. I might just hole punch those. Might just remove a little bit more of that bulk. I don't think it will, but hey, let's do it anyway. Yep. That's good. Double-sided tape there, which will also be sticking to my rivet. Just pushing that out. There we go. Now let's open up this packet. I'm using rivets from Emmeline bags. I sort of use rivets from various places. These are quite easy. Double caps, so they're pretty on both sides. Okay. Where's our pretty end again? Pretty end. There. Put that cap through. So I've got the long one this time. That one up. And through that one. Yeah. So you can see without having to force it, the rivet's just gone through comfortably. So it is good to have a variety of sizes there. Everything's lined up neat. It's all nice and straight, perfect. And I can put the cap on that rivet. And then I'll just give that a squeeze with my fingers. And now I'll get my rivet press. I have my rivet press and that I've moved it over. I don't usually have it on my sewing machine, or sometimes I do, it depends how many rivets I'm doing. I've got the right size plates in my rivet press. This one is for punching holes. It's good when you've got to get in further than what this one can get to, but I don't need it today. Lining that up, it's nice and secure in that plate. I like to stand up. I'm just going to stand up when I do my rivets. Just makes it easier. Give that a press. And there we go. We have got a really good looking wristlet strap. looks beautiful. You'll find sometimes from the rubber on this foot here, these screw out. My metal plates and things like that tend to rust. We live close to the ocean and I get ocean breezes coming through, which is nice. But yeah, so it's just a little screw, and this is hard sort of rubber. And when you press down, that goes through like that, and the rivet fits in that little die there. Just put it back in. You can get all sorts of dies for your machines. Am I screwing it the right way? No. It was just when you make a lot of bags and that, it's just handy to have the two machines so you're not always swapping out and that. So that's that one done. So I hope you found that a little bit helpful. Might have learned a little tip or two or not. But if you like the video, you can give that a little click on the like button. I'd appreciate it. Helps my videos get seen, and it lets me know that you really would like me to do more videos for you. So that was just a quick little one there today. So I can attach that to anything now. They just clip on, like if this was attached to a wristlet, pouch, anything there, you just clip that on. The hardware that I've used as well today, so that would be inside the bag. And there's your little wristlet strap. I like that length. I find it quite good. I can easily get my hand in and out of it. And whatever I'm carrying is nice and close. I find if the wristlet strap is too long, it's actually quite awkward, whereas I find that quite comfortable. So if it's swinging around, whatever's on the bottom of here, and I can hold on to that as well, which I tend to do quite a lot. Okay, there you go. You can make these longer, but I just find longer than that, even on my bigger hands. Like I'm like 5'8", so I'm quite tall, and I'm a fuller figured woman, so I've got chunky arms and wrists and that there. But yeah, I just find that length works perfect for me. And I've never had any customers ever say it's too short or too long. So yeah, there we go. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.